Let's go over here to the show. We had some news. I saw you did another video on this about the Switch revision or next gen system. I saw that, right?
Yeah,
we covered this pretty well. So what happened was we had a Taipei based Economic Daily News revealed that Nintendo could be releasing a new Switch model in early 2021, citing people in supply chain as sources. That'd be early 2021. Well, they said it would be quarter four of this current fiscal year is when it go into production, and then quarter one of next fiscal year is when it would be released. So that'd be basically the first half of next year. All of that would happen. And then Wall Street Journal came in and said that they were looking into something to do with the screen itself. Actually, that was the Taipei-based Economic Daily News. And then, but Wall Street Journal came in and said they're looking at more computing power and possibly 4K. So there's this weird thing because the Economic Daily News mentioned next gen with the translation. But then we have Wall Street Journal saying that's not the case. It's very all over the place right now with this. But the idea seems to be that Nintendo will probably release some new hardware next year.
Yeah, and I think it'll be an incremental upgrade. Probably a little bit more than the extended battery life of the current revision. There's no chance in hell it's a next generation system though. It's not going to replace the Nintendo Switch. It's ridiculous. I have heard a lot of crazy. I've had people DM me some very interesting things that I haven't talked about just because they kind of make sense, but at the same time, it's kind of like it makes too much sense. That might be a bit too ludicrous. But yeah, I think you will see some form, especially considering the fact that they pretty much said there's going to be no new Switch hardware in 2020. Like, why would you come out and say that if you weren't planning on something doing that? And another thing is, companies are always working on hardware. They're always working on revisions, whether you realize them or not, you know. So I think it's within the realm of possibility for sure. But if, and that's a big thing, like I said in my video, if there is a revision, it will not be a next generation. It would be a slightly improved Nintendo Switch. That's about it.
Okay, the question is this thing going to be called the Switch Pro, or are they going to call it the new Nintendo Switch?
It'll probably be like new Nintendo Switch, or I don't know. Yeah, most likely. I mean, they could put, what'd you say, OJ? It could be called like the Super Switch or the Super Nintendo Switch.
I was thinking
a couple names.
Maybe they go back roots. I mean, I think somebody mentioned like Switch Advance or
Switch Advance.
Dude, I would love that.
I think they do something like that. I think it'd be like Switch Plus or Switch Advance.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to be like a very crazy name because, Jordan, you talked about this before. You got Switch Lite. That's very simple, and many people predicted Mini, Lite. Like I had people coming to my stream saying, "Yeah, it's going to be called Lite." Like, and they didn't have any
the new Switch is called Switch Micro.
Switch Micro.
I hope it's like actually like larger, so just confusing people.
So macro, like.
But it's not going to, I agree with Sean though. It's not, because people are thinking it's going to be some next generation. It's going to be a Xbox Series X in your pocket or something. It's not, because it's going to blow up in your pocket and cost $1,000 if that was the case. So that's not happening. It's not going to all of a sudden fix everything. It's not going to be every game is 10. Like people are saying it's going to be every game is going to be 1080p 60. No, that's games based on the resolution. It's based off the software. You know what I mean? Obviously you have hardware that can power these games, but the software is based on what the developer wants to do. So there's no set standard that the games are going to be or anything like that. If anything, it's going to be like a new Nintendo or 3DS, the new Nintendo 3DS type of situation. Maybe a little bit better, or even like DSi. I mean, you guys remember the DSi back?
Yes.
The DS. The
Ooh,
DSi.
the Switch.
They added more RAM. They added a shop. They added a camera. So it was a pretty nice upgrade over what we got before.
It was. I liked it.
Yeah, it was great. It was very sleek too. They made it like thinner and more sleek.
It had like a matte finish.
Yeah, it had like a matte finish, so you can, it was better to hold on to. It wouldn't, so I think it could be like that. They could definitely just upgrade it in that way with a little bit more power, a little bit more RAM for developers too, to access that, get frame rates a bit better and stuff. But don't expect some type of major, we've all talked about it in our videos. Don't expect some type of major next generation. All of a sudden you can play, I don't know.
Don't tell me what to expect.
Cyberpunk or something.
Resident Evil 8 coming to the Switch 2.
I'm still waiting on Resident Evil 7 to come to the Switch. I thought that was a thing.
Only digital in Japan.
Remember the leak. The leak giant quotes was Resident Evil 2 remake is coming to the Switch. LOL. I saved that screenshot.
Oh, that's right. It was like Switch Pro or whatever. Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
The Switch Pro will have exclusive.
What'd you think, Nate?
For the rumors, I mean, the problem is both the reports gave two different
general ideas of what Nintendo could be doing. You had Bloomberg come out and they were very clear. It's a revision. It's just going to be a new iteration of the current Switch. It'll be better internals, because you had an analyst say if Nintendo does release a revision, it is going to propel sales of the Switch beyond the DS and even the Wii. DS is probably a pretty high goal. We're talking north of 150 million units.
Yeah.
The Wii is in grasp of the current Switch and Switch Lite.
It's going to pass
almost
the Wii.
Yeah, that's a certainty. So yeah, it's not going to be a next-gen system, because look at the time frame that both reports are discussing. They're saying Q1. So we're looking at an area around 6 to 7 months from now. If it was a next-gen system, and I know that has been a discussion that's gone on, and they tried to cite, oh, well, this is a slow year. We have to look at Nintendo in 2016. They are also a slow year leading up to the 2017 launch, yes. But by the time 2016 came around, Nintendo had already made it official that they had a new platform called the NX in development, and they were planning on launching it in 2017. As far as I can tell, Nintendo has not said anything about launching new hardware in early 2021. So it would be a revision. We can dub it the Switch Pro. We can call it whatever we want. It will be better internals. It will have better performance. And a dev profile leaked earlier this year that indicated as much as happening. So people have to get out of the idea that it's going to be a next-gen system. It's going to probably be in line with like the new 3DS, which had 2 times the CPU power. It had more RAM. It was a considerable upgrade. It was just nothing really took advantage of the technological boost that the hardware had. So we could be looking at games, getting a boost from 900p to 1080p, maybe a better frame rate, but we're not closing the gap to like the PS5 or the Xbox Series X or anything like that. We would need the next gen true successor, which will probably come in early 2023. It depends on what NVIDIA has in their pipeline for technology. And if we look at the dev profile that leaked, this revision is still likely going to be using the same Tegra X1 architecture. Yeah. Nintendo's not going to switch to, some new foreign technology. They're going to remain with what they have, because revisions are generally, they happen because they want to cut cost. It's to increase their profit margin. So if they can get rid of the current Switch, introduce a more powerful Switch, and still keep it at $300, it's a win for Nintendo, because production probably went down to, let's just say $199 as an example. They make more money on this. They get rid of it.
What if they kept the current Switch and just added another one to the family and had it priced slightly higher? Because they kept saying they want to add a family of systems, and that's how you would extend the life of the overall brand in the system, is you have more things to choose from and you keep releasing. See, the way that they would catch, say, the DS is if the Switch lasted 10 years or something and it kept selling at a good pace.
The DS was lasted forever.
Yeah, that's the only way it would work.
Look at all their hands. Game Boy, like that thing was around for like 9 years.
Yeah, so the Switch would have to be around for a long. It would just be a matter of time of it like outlasting like the DS or something with these kind of sales.
I mean, 150 million is that's almost ridiculous. But the curious thing is, in the reports that came out last week, none really talked about the form factor. We've had the speculation that maybe Nintendo makes a Switch TV.
Mm-hmm. They should do that. I mean, that could be
4K,
cheap.
All that. You don't need to replace the screen. It could be a home, or it could be funny. We really don't know the form factor. We only have one report that's from last year, or way early this year, that talked about Nintendo looking into new shells and new screens.
Here's my problem with that TV box though. When people go out and buy these boxes, like the little stream box things, they expect a lot of multimedia functionality, and there's still not even Netflix on the Switch.
True.
Yep.
But I mean,
do you miss it?
It's not like they couldn't add it. You know what I'm saying? Like all the stupid things about the Switch as far as multimedia stuff and streaming shit. It's something that could be fixed in like an instant. Like I feel like all you got to be able to go, oh, okay, you want to put it on there? All right, now it's on there. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know.
I saw RGT. I saw people actually speculate about that on Twitter. Of like, at this point, there are literally just switches that could be flipped, like at Nintendo headquarters, that would make people happy. Like, here, oh, you want folders? Bam, there's folders. Oh, also here's the new Switch. Oh, you want some Netflix and Hulu and Pornhub app? Bam, flip the Switch. There you go. Here you go.
There's no Pornhub app. I've checked.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant Disney Plus.
I mean the Wii and the 3D, the Wii and the Wii and the 3DS had Netflix.
And Pornhub.
I mean, you might as well just put it on the
Quick was laughing for a while. Quick, you want a Pornhub app? Is that what?
I want my
What's the point
OnlyFans
of
app.
that?
Can you quit exposing me?
You know,
You were laughing for quite some time. It looked like that might be one of your sites that you go to. I'm not trying to get into your private life or anything.
It's on her Nintendo Direct.
that's gonna be that'll probably be the exclusive
Quick, be
for
like,
that.
don't go to my history on any of my devices, please.
You guys want Netflix on your Switch? You got to buy the Switch Pro.
I was about to say that might be the exclusive for that Switch TV. Is it comes preloaded with Netflix, and that's the only way you get it.
I bet they pull that. Oh, you need the extra thing. So we can have 4K streaming.
What about an
without-
internet browser?
Never.
I mean, we gotta
Bring those back.
save some stuff for
style.
next gen, right?
Not really.
voice chat,
Let's get it out now.
messaging.
Yeah. So the as it stands now, it's I'm not expecting anything crazy in terms of boost in performance, but I think it'll be a some sort of new marketed release next year. So it could be good. It could be good. We'll see what we get out of it.